In the vast tapestry of history, can a single wrong turn reshape the world? In 1914, a momentary twist of fate on the streets of Sarajevo didn't merely reroute a car, it pivoted the direction of an entire century. What would our world look like if that fleeting mistake hadn't occurred? Dive into this tale of unforeseen consequences and the ripple effects of a split-second decision. Franz Ferdinand, Archduke of Austria-Este, was the prominent heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire, carrying with him a mantle of vast political influence. Born in 1863, his role in the empire was substantial and active. He envisioned transformative changes, notably advocating for greater rights and autonomy for the empire's Slavic populations. This stance drew both praise and criticism from various factions, showcasing the complex political landscape of the time. As heir, his decisions and beliefs held the potential to shape the empire's future. June 28, 1914, Sarajevo. A motorcade carrying Archduke Franz Ferdinand was navigating the streets celebrating the imperial couple's 14th wedding anniversary. The atmosphere was tense. Earlier that day, a member of a secret society called the Black Hand had attempted to assassinate the Archduke by hurling a grenade at his motorcade. Fortunately for the Archduke, the grenade detonated behind his vehicle, injuring bystanders, but sparing him. This close brush with death could have been a strong warning, urging the Archduke to abandon any further public appearances for the day. But the story was far from over. The day's events were already fraught with tension following the initial assassination attempt. Archduke Franz Ferdinand and Duchess Sophie, rather than abandoning their schedule, took a commendable decision. They would visit the injured from the morning's explosion at the hospital. Their motorcade drove through the streets of Sarajevo, but as they were en route to the hospital, confusion struck. The driver, unfamiliar with the route changes due to the earlier attack, mistakenly took a turn onto Franz Josef Street. This seemingly innocuous detour was laden with implications, for it was on this street that Gavrilo Princip, another member of the Black Hand organization, stood. Of all the streets in Sarajevo, a wrong turn led them directly to another conspirator. The driver, realizing the mistake, stopped the car abruptly, attempting to reverse and correct the route. In that brief moment, with the car stationary, the occupants were a sitting duck for the would-be assassin. Gavrilo Princip, a young Bosnian Serb nationalist and a member of the secret organization Black Hand, had missed his earlier opportunity to assassinate the Archduke. Dejected, he had walked to a nearby deli on Franz Josef Street to grab a sandwich. As destiny would have it, the very street the Archduke's motorcade would mistakenly enter. As Princip emerged from the deli, to his disbelief, he found himself just a few feet away from the stopped car of Franz Ferdinand and Sophie. Seizing this unexpected second chance, he quickly drew his pistol and fired 2 shots in rapid succession. The first bullet struck the Archduke in the neck, while the second hit the Duchess in the abdomen. Chaos immediately ensued. The street, previously filled with the hum of conversations and the rattle of businesses, was plunged into screams and pandemonium. Princip, trying to avoid capture, swallowed a cyanide pill, but it failed to kill him, only inducing vomiting. He was swiftly apprehended by the crowd and the police. Despite immediate medical attention, both Franz Ferdinand and Sophie succumbed to their injuries within a short time. This assassination event in Sarajevo would soon be the catalyst for a series of rapid events across Europe. In the wake of the assassination, the streets of Sarajevo were in turmoil. People scrambled in fear and confusion. The Austro-Hungarian Empire, already tense due to nationalist sentiments and their tense relationship with Serbia, immediately sought justice. The arrest of Princip led to a police investigation revealing connections to a Serbian nationalist group known as the Black Hand. This discovery intensified hostilities between Austria, Hungary, and Serbia. Within weeks, as countries began picking sides due to their complex network of alliances, Europe was on the brink, and the great powers started mobilizing their armies. While the assassination of Franz Ferdinand was the spark, the underlying political tensions in Europe provided ample fuel for conflict. For years, European powers had been entangled in a web of alliances. Germany, Austria, Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire formed the Central Powers. Opposing them, France, Russia, and Britain united as the Triple Entente. When Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia in retaliation for the assassination, it set off a domino effect. Russia, being an ally of Serbia, began mobilizing its troops, prompting Germany to declare war on Russia. France, allied with Russia, became embroiled as Germany's next target. Germany's invasion of Belgium, a neutral country, drew Britain into the conflict, officially initiating World War I. The repercussions of this cascading series of events were catastrophic. Warfare evolved. With trench warfare, tanks, and chemical weapons, millions were mobilized, and the global conflict would claim over 17 million lives by its end in 1918. The world map was reshaped, empires crumbled, and the seeds for future conflicts, notably World War II, were sown in its aftermath. All stemming from a series of alliances and the death of an archduke on a Sarajevo street. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, set against the backdrop of a European powder keg, became a pivotal point in history, triggering a war that reshaped our world. But what if that fateful wrong turn had never occurred? Would a different event have ignited the powder keg, or would tensions have diffused over time? What stands out from this tale is the sheer unpredictability of history. In Sarajevo, a seemingly small misdirection led the Archduke directly into the path of his assassin. While the political climate was undoubtedly charged, it was this unforeseen event that became the catalyst for change. The vast casualties of World War I, the revolutions it birthed, the borders redrawn, and the political orders overturned. So much of it can trace its origins to that day in Sarajevo. When reflecting on history, it reminds us of the interconnectedness of events and the profound impact that seemingly isolated incidents can have on the larger canvas of time. What other moments in history hang in the balance of such slender threads? As you contemplate the story of the Archduke, consider how the world might be different if only a few moments had unfolded differently.